going to go ahead and get started, if that's okay. Welcome to the first general PTA meeting of the school year. I just would like to start off by saying thank you to Mr. Price, all of the hardworking teachers, the executive board, our members, and everyone in the school community who's made a donation, volunteered their time. We truly appreciate it. So thank you very much. I do know that this is a different type of school year, but we're trying very hard to create fun and safe events for all of the students in the school. And with that said, I'm sure you have lots of questions for Mr. Price, so I'm actually going to turn it over to you, Mr. Price.
Thank you, Ms. Crane, and thank you, the entire executive board. It's the work you've been doing. It's been amazing. The teachers are super appreciative of everything you've done. And then the kids and the families. So I just want to extend on behalf of the entire faculty and staff our thanks to the St. Cloud PTA for everything you have done. And what you've done is really incredible. From the teacher appreciation, welcome back, to the incredibly well-produced back-to-school video that all of our community was able to enjoy. Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. Thank you, Mrs. Payne. It was, I mean, just a masterful work of videography that really brought a lot of smiles to a lot of people's faces. And it was really a beautiful way to come up here and create that community. We received 2 water bottle filling stations. Again, a gift from the PTA, the bounty from all of their hard work, all of the fundraising activities that were conducted over the last year. These are the kind of things that the PTA does year after year. These water filling stations, these bottle stations are going to allow us to provide the kids with filtered, cold, delicious water that their bottles, they can fill up their bottles without having to touch anything. It'll be a touch-free environment. But will allow the kids to stay hydrated, stay comfortable, and do so in a safe way when we return to school, which is right around the corner, November 9th, into the hybrid model. So thank you for what was a very expensive gift, and that we recognize as such, and again is, what the PTA, the hard work of the PTA produces for us. Thank you for the meet and greets. That was the opportunities for parents to come together and to share their experiences for our veterans here, moms and dads who have been at St. Cloud for some years, to share their experience, insights, advice with new parents coming in. And the PTA, created 2 forums in which, again, parents who weren't familiar with our school or our district had the opportunity to meet up, and hopefully friendships and relationships were formed, that can provide some support in the years to come. This week, we had the Class Parents Organization, where we organized class parents, came together, and as Mrs. Crane said, this is a different year, a different model, a different way that we're going to be utilizing class parents. Obviously, without us being in situ in the school, the role has changed. However, there is a lot of ways that the PTA and the class parents are going to be able to help us stay more connected, and hopefully provide students with some opportunities for some social activities outside the classroom. And we'll be working on that together with the classroom teachers. Classroom teachers, super appreciative of all those parents that stepped up, lending a hand to make their kids' experience special. We've got our first assembly coming up on October 30th, Mad Science, theme around the holiday on the 31st, the Halloween holiday. Great program, and they'll do really cool, interactive, interesting work with the kids in a virtual environment. That's the kids will really like that as a change of pace, having a visitor come into their onto their screens, and to be able to do some interesting work that's based in curriculum, based in science, based in understanding natural phenomenon. Trunk or treat, we're excited for. All right, I know the executive board will talk more about that, but opportunity to come out of our homes, come to the school, hang out, see each other, and do so in a safe way, right? So we have a socially distanced trunk or treat happening. And I just want to say to the executive board again, thank you for the considered plans you have for that day. Really walking the kids through, walking families through, in which we can lower anxiety levels, but have a lot of fun and be together as a community. Where it is, the talent show's coming together. We're looking at that in a few weeks. In mid-November. And again, we have this technical crew. They must have worked in network TV before coming, but they are going to be able to put together this really great opportunity for kids to show off a little bit, and maybe some of our staff. And I've got to come up with something. I've got to come up with a talent soon. Membership drive is happening, and we'll talk more about that. I want to thank the PTA too and Mr. Jones for spearheading a diversity council and addressing how we can better serve all our community through professional development, reflections on our curriculum, reflections on our practices at St. Cloud to make for a more inclusive environment for all of our students. We are hard at work preparing now. The start of school, we're off and running. We're four weeks in. Teachers are really working hard. I think we're improving day by day on how they are servicing the kids. We're looking at what we can do to ameliorate some of the technical issues out there. And I just want to always make sure that everyone here knows that we're there to support you. If you are faced with technical problems, give me a buzz. Mrs. Williams and I are in the office. We will run up to the high school, get you what you need. Okay, if it's a laptop, if it's connectivity, any issues you're having, please give us a call immediately. If you are having a delay with the tech department, they're working as hard as they can, and I think they're doing a really fine job. But there's a lot of sometimes unforeseen things that happen, especially with hardware out there and developments in software. So just want to make sure that if you're having problems technically, that you don't suffer that for more than a few hours without giving me a call. We'll walk it through, we'll troubleshoot it, and we will hopefully solve that problem within the day. We had some listening sessions with our community last week. That was on Wednesday and Thursday. Mrs. McIntosh, our school counselor, and I invited parents in to talk about their experience thus far, and we really were able to get some understanding of some of the issues that families are facing. We really were particularly interested in the social and emotional challenges of the virtual world, of how kids are doing at home, how kids are handling it emotionally, and we got some really great feedback that we can act upon in support of families, and we'll be getting information out this week. We've been collecting and organizing things that we think will be helpful and be responsive to some of the concerns that parents have. I think I could leave it there. I'll open it up to questions that anyone has about their experience thus far, and any questions you have about where we're headed toward November 9th.
If you would like to raise a question, feel free to put it in the chat window, or you may unmute your line.
Jen, there is a question from Nicole Bell. They say they're new to St. Cloud but didn't hear about the meet and greets. Are there any others planned? Do you want to maybe just plug the Facebook page, or?
Yes, I see that Melanie here wrote back that we can certainly host additional.
Sorry.
That's okay. We are definitely open to hosting more of those meet and greets, and hopefully maybe we can get that going later this month or in early November, definitely.
And I think maybe we could think the trunk or treat might be a nice opportunity. I'll be available that day. Some staff members will be at that day. So it's a great time to come out, and especially if you're new to the community, it's a great time to come. Faces to names, connecting that, and just hanging out and being able to make those connections and ask those questions.
Mr. Price, I have a question actually. Do we feel like we are on target with the ventilation updates that need to happen before we can come into the schools?
That's a good question, Mrs. Rodriguez, and I'm happy to report that St. Cloud has been checked. All of our rooms have sufficient airflow, sufficient air exchange, so that we can get into all of our learning. All of our classrooms will be prepared. Yeah, we've been working on all the windows, they're operational. Everything's been cleaned, all units have been cleaned. So it looks very good, and we're ready to roll with our air quality.
I have a question as well. If and when we do go back in November, how will, there's the option to stay remote and there's the option to join the hybrid model. Can you talk at all about how those two will be different that might help us make our choice? I mean, other than the hybrid, but if you're like, how will teachers handle having kids both there and at home? How will teachers handle having kids both there and
The model as we're organizing right now will be that children will be broken into two cohorts. So cohort A will be coming in on Monday, Tuesday. Cohort B would be coming in on Monday and Thursday. So the students who are coming into school would be class. The students who were at home, the cohort who was home those days, would be viewing the class as though the students at home would be getting the same instruction, same class, same lesson as the students in the classroom. So that's what the hybrid would be. So the teachers in the classroom teaching those kids who are there in the school, and at the same time streaming that lesson back to the kids at home. So it's a way in which we reduce the number of kids in the school at one time, but we keep everyone on the same pace. And then in terms of the, I know there's a timeline coming out that Dr. Gascon will be sharing in terms of, opting, if you want to opt for strictly a hybrid model, strictly a virtual model, staying at home, okay? And then there will be a timeline when you would need to then opt back in for the hybrid, and those dates will be forthcoming.
Anyone
Mr.
else?
Price, just because it was a little bit in and out, would you say the beginning in terms of how the rotation will go? Just say that one more time if you don't mind.
So the cohorts will be in, students will be in twice a week in the school, and then home for the other three. So it'll be a Monday, Tuesday, one group, and a Wednesday, Thursday, the other group for the mornings.
Surprise, how would the specials work in that case?
The specials will look very much like they do now. The specials being in the afternoons, both synchronous and asynchronous.
Okay, and that would be all virtual as usual, as the same.
That's correct.
And for students that are going to the JCC or the Y, how will that work? Because my son and daughter are at the JCC. They have different teachers. What if they're on different schedules? Has any thought been given to that?
They have, Mr. Byrne. So we've organized the kids. Your kids are in the different afternoon schedules, you mean, in different special schedules?
I'm just trying to figure out whether the JCC is going to provide busing. But in the second grade class at the JCC, there's a variety of different teachers. The cohort schedule is different. They're
Right.
able to sort of manage that. And the same with the kindergarten. Now, when we add the complexity where some will be going to school and some won't, I'm just trying to figure out how the JCC is going to sort of, gel that all together.
We've organized it so siblings are together. So children of the same family will be together. So they'll be coming on the same day. That's for transportation issues and for family organization issues, family planning. In terms of how the JCC is going to manage that piece, I'm not sure. But brothers and sisters will be coming in on the same days with the same cohort.
Are there any more questions for Mr. Price?
Mr. Price, is the plan to begin January with this format that's being launched in November once students come back after the holiday break?
Mr. Jones, I can't speak to the January. November 9th is when we're hoping to start the hybrid model. Yeah, and then moving on from there, that's we'll have to see where it takes us and see what the where the pandemic is and how we're doing, from an epidemiological point. But I can't speak to January yet. We can always come back to questions as questions come up. So we can.
Sure, I'll continue to monitor the chat and I can draw attention to it when needed.
Okay.
Okay, so moving forward, if anyone who is watching right now is new to the PTA or just tuning in, we're going to go through every department on the executive board and they'll speak about upcoming events. Feel free to ask questions in the chat or just unmute yourself and let us know. So the next department we're going to talk, it's going to be treasurer report and the secretary report, whichever one would like to go first.
Shweta, do you want me to go first or would you prefer?
Go for it, Bill. You have
Okay.
more to say.
I do. Okay, well, the good news is that prior fundraising, we have over $20,000 in the bank. We didn't spend as much as we expected last year because we got caught with COVID. So a lot of the events that we had planned basically got canceled. So there wasn't as many expenditures as we thought there would be. But likewise, our biggest fundraiser, which was the Jaguar Jog, was canceled in the spring. But notwithstanding that, we still have a pretty good sum in the bank. This year's challenge is to try to figure out, with COVID and doing most things remotely or virtually, how we're going to do the fundraising. As you may or may not see, the fifth grade is selling mums. For general PTA, we rely on membership. So I encourage everybody to try to talk to people in the community and try to join up for the PTA because that does help our budget. On the expenditure side, as Mr. Price indicated, we typically give about $4,000 in school supplies. We save that this year because we're doing this virtually. But the expenditures to date so far is we've committed to a cultural event on Halloween in the amount of $800. We've just put a $100 deposit. We also donated these bottle fillers at the cost of about $1,500. But the thought is that would really help the students when they come back. Try not to use the water fountains and basically just use the water bottles. We've also donated, which we typically do, t-shirts that say St. Cloud Jaguars to all the kindergarten students. We've purchased them. I don't believe that they've been distributed, but this is something that we typically do. And we have budgeted for the trunk or treat, which is upcoming. So we're hoping that that will be successful. And then we have the talent show, which was new last year, that actually was a pretty good fundraiser. And this year, I'm not really sure. But as far as the budget goes, we've significantly pared it back, not really sure how our fundraising is going to be. If the Jaguar Jog, which is the biggest fundraiser, doesn't happen, that will significantly reduce the amount of funds that we can spend. The book fair is something that we've relied on. It's a lot of work, but it does generate income so that basically we can spend it. Right now, we cannot do it in the fall, and the question is whether we'll decide to do it in the spring. The budget has not been approved so far by the, formally by the board. I do have something pretty much in final form that I'll bring up to the board, but we have pared it back, and we have to decide the probability of what the needs are for the school, for the teachers. Oh, the other thing that we did, we typically have a teacher appreciation breakfast or lunch in the very beginning, and we distributed out gift cards to each of the teachers. So I think they were appreciative of that. But again, overall, starting from prior years with over $20,000 in the account, we do have, we're not in crisis management. The hope is that we would build on that and it would allow for rainy days. We're sort of in a rainy day now, and we're looking at expenditures as events change. So we're in good shape, but we really do have to figure out how to fundraise in this type of, environment.
Thank you,
Any
Bill.
questions?
No, to just go along with what you were saying, we have locked in a date for the Jag Jog with the company Boosterthon that we do work with. So fingers crossed that we can hold that, have a fun and safe event. So we're locked in for it. It's just a matter of if we get the go to do so.
And the good thing about that is it's outside. So there's a high degree of probability that we'll get that. The only concern is are we going to get the participation? When the kids are in school, the flyers go out. If we're doing this hybrid model, we're going to have to work how we actually get the kids to Stag Field and do that. So there are challenges, but I'm hoping that it's going to happen because that by far is the largest fundraiser that we have, assuming that we've had the participation that we've had in past years. And the kids love it.
Yes. Shweta, would you like to go?
This is the first meeting, general meeting, so just taking notes. I will send that out and we will share that through the communication channels that we have. If anybody has any concerns, you can get back to me, or any ideas that you would like me to include that you missed out saying that, please send an email to secretary at St. Cloud PTA, and I can include that in the notes so everybody gets those ideas. And that's about it from my side.
Thank you so much. Moving on, next we have our Ways and Means Department. Melanie?
Ways and Means. Can you all hear me okay? Is my volume okay? Okay, perfect. All right, so we have been very busy in the PTA trying to think of interesting ways to engage with our community, our St. Cloud community here, and I'm going to go over a couple of things, many of which you probably know about. I know that Jessica sent out a huge email today that sort of outlines a lot of what's coming up. First up in terms of timing is our family night at Chipotle, which we've done in past years. This one you can either bring a flyer into the Chipotle and make your purchase, and a portion of that will go to the PTA, or you can order, this is new thanks to our pandemic right now, you can order online using the special code that we will distribute to you all. But you must order via the Chipotle website or the Chipotle app. If you order it through Grubhub or any of those delivery services, we will not get credit for the purchase. So just bear that in mind. That is going to be on Wednesday, October 21st, and it's between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. So mark your calendars, save room for guacamole, go to Chipotle. All right, so then the next and most exciting upcoming event is our first in-person socially distanced trunk or treat, which will be on Saturday, October 24th, and the event time is from 2 to approximately 4:30. And we gave it a lot of thought on how to make it fun but responsible. And so what we did is we reduced the number of cars that we're going to host. Typically our events have around 25 cars in a normal year. This year we're reducing it down to 13 so we can have ample space between the vehicles as the kids go on their little trunk or treat tour. We also have 3 time slots for families to visit, and we've limited the number of families that can come at any one time so that crowd control is maintained and we can keep distance as they go through. Families will need to check in at our PTA table to get a wristband that's color coded for your time slot. And then we'll ask that you please proceed around the tour in an orderly fashion, concluding with taking photos with our Halloween backdrop and selecting a grab and go craft to do at home. So we're really excited that we've got that on the docket. We do definitely need some more volunteers and some more trunks. So if you are coming to the event and you think you want to have a dual hat and host a trunk while you're there, that would be tremendous. Or if you want to just come and see all these cute kids, host a trunk and hand out some treats.
Sorry.
Someone saying my name?
Yes, Nalini, I think, could you please mute everybody? There's a lot of background
Okay,
noise
hang
and
on
we're
one
having
second.
a hard time listening to you.
Yep. Oh, I muted myself, hang on. Okay, everybody looks muted now. Okay, is that better?
Yes, much.
Okay, perfect. So yes, we're going to need volunteers. We're going to need folks to host trunks. The 5th grade is going to have a special table at the event. And I'll make sure to put the URL for signing up. As I mentioned, it's been a really well-received event. So our event time slots have been filled, but we do have a wait list. So if you want to go onto the link and sign up for a wait list, if someone can no longer make the event, we'll reach out to you and see if we can get you in. But I do thank everybody for their interest, for their patience, for their generosity. These are sort of unprecedented times, but we really want to give this to the kids. So really excited about that one. And then jumping forward to November, or actually I should pause. Does anybody have a trunk or treat question before I move on?
Just to point out, I think we had discussed this last time that parents count towards the...
Parents do count.
Towards
we have like a capacity issue. So parents do count. So when you do put your name on the wait list, make sure you note yourself and your child, or if it's 2 parents and a child, or et cetera, just, yes, please make sure you note your full party number. Okay, so moving on from trunk or treat, we're moving into November now. I'm going to mention 2 topics real quick. The first one is family night at the Panera in Essex Green. So much like Chipotle, you can order in store, you can order online. We'll have a special code that you can use and we can get credit for your purchases. So please save room for yummy sandwiches and macaroni and cheese on that night, Wednesday, November 18th, excuse me. Wednesday, November 18th from 4 to 8 p.m. And then the next thing that we're working on is our St. Cloud Stars virtual talent show. So we're excited about this because we did the talent show last year and it was really well received, first time we'd done it. So we definitely wanted to give the kids a chance to show off and share with us their special talents, and Mr. Price and teachers, if they so choose. So we are going to be putting more information out about that soon. We'll be looking to get 90-second recordings of your child's act or a photo of your child's artwork that we can include in the talent show. We're going to be accepting those between October 19th and November 6th. With the talent show date, and depending on how many submissions we get, we might have 2 nights. So if we do get a flood of submissions, we will have it on November 19th, we'll feature our K through 2, and November 20th, we'll feature grades 3 through 5. And it's going to be one flat rate. If we have 1 night or 2, it's just going to be $5 per family. And you can send your submissions to talentshow@stcloudpta.org. And again, we'll have more information coming out at that time. But it's not just going to be a pre-recorded event. We're going to have a live MC. There'll be some interactions, so we hope it'll be a lot of fun. And I think that's it for my upcoming things.
Melanie, it's $5 per family to watch, not to participate.
Correct. Correct. To watch it. It is free to submit, so please encourage your children to think about something they want to share with the school, and we'd be delighted to feature it. And there will be more around parameters in terms of, you know, best recording practices and that sort of thing. So stay tuned for more.
Thank you, Mo. And next up, we have cultural arts. Sarah and Holly.
Holly, did you want to go first?
I think the greatest thing is just the upcoming assembly. And I think you have all the information on that, Sarah. So I think we're good. But we're trying to partner with the diversity committee as well to bring some assemblies that might have a little more, just a more diverse offering than we might have done in the past. So that's really exciting.
Yes, that's great. And the few details on the science assembly, it's a mad science, spooky science demonstration. They're doing 2-hour-long time slots with us. So K through 2 will go from 9 to 10, and it's a 45-minute demonstration and then a 15-minute Q&A. And then the 3 through 5 will go after. So they will, Zoom links and details will go out through Google Classroom as that gets closer.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for cultural arts? Okay, so moving on. Thanks, ladies. Next, we have our Diversity Council with our chair, David. This is our brand new Diversity Council. David, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
Hi, David.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see such a good turnout for our first meeting. So yeah, so we're excited that this fall, this school year, we launched the Diversity Council for St. Cloud. We have 17 folks who volunteered to be part of this experience and work with the school, the PTA, Mr. Price, and teachers to really be culturally responsive to the needs of our children to make sure that they have the best and most inclusive experience possible. So we held our first meeting for September. We meet the last Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. So those that are on the call that might have any interest in joining the next meeting, please feel free to join. We'll send out information about the upcoming October meeting through the listserv. But really the council is designed to have parents at the forefront of addressing equity and inclusion concerns within the school and being able to provide a platform for us to be responsive to those needs and making sure that we work with Mr. Price to produce some actionable and solution-based strategies so that our students, young kids are able to, like I said, get the most out of their experience. So I would say from the first meeting, a lot of the priorities align with looking at the curriculum and what's being offered in the classroom, particularly around social studies and history, and making sure that the narrative that's told about different cultures and backgrounds is accurate and representative of what our kids should be learning. There's also the concern and an issue around professional development and training for our teachers around things like implicit bias and other forms of professional development that can improve their understanding of diversity and inclusion. We're also looking at different program offerings and making sure that the programs are inclusive and representative of what our students need and want, such as Heritage Month celebrations, for example, the cultural and arts programs that are offered. So that way we're casting a wide net of diverse options for our students. We also, thinking about representation, right? In terms of how do we increase, racial representation in particular, so that our young kids can see teachers that they're able to racially identify with, and that representation is important in our schools. This is also, I want to add, this council is part of a larger effort across the district. The district has a diversity, equity, and access committee that is led by the superintendent and his team. And so we at St. Cloud have taken the initiative to start this diversity council, which to my knowledge is the first of any council at any of the other schools within West Orange. So we are creating a model for other schools to hopefully follow, and serve their schools and their children in the best way possible around diversity and inclusion efforts. And so I'm appreciative of our rest of our e-board who have been behind this effort, Mr. Price for his support and encouragement, and also the superintendent who had a chance to hear me present about the Diversity Council at a district-wide PTA meeting last week. And so we have a lot of support, a lot of energy behind this. The parents that showed up at the first meeting brought a lot of energy and ideas, and we have so we have a lot going, moving forward, a lot of good momentum. Next meeting in October, Mr. Price will join us so that he can hear more of those concerns and speak to the parents on the council directly. And also, teachers will also be invited if they're available to join as well. And we're hoping that at a future meeting, the superintendent will also be able to join us and connect with the parents in that capacity. So if you're on this call and if you have an interest, please feel free to join us at the next meeting at the last Tuesday of October. Like I said, information about that meeting will be sent out through the PTA listserv. So we welcome all parents to be part of it. Anybody that's on the PTA that was there at the meeting want to add anything?
I would just like to add about,
parents that were there that want to add anything.
would you like to speak about the grant that you applied for?
Sure. Oh, yes. So we did apply. So many things happening. we did apply for a grant, and the name of the grant is escaping me, but it's a grant that supports diversity and inclusion efforts in the schools. And so we should be hearing back by the end of the month if we receive this grant. And so any funding that we receive from the grant could go towards some of the initiatives and resources that I just spoke of. So we're excited about that. Thanks, Jen, for putting that on our radar, and we kind of just took the ball and ran with it. So also at our October meeting, we'll have someone coming to present on the Amistad curriculum, right? That we're looking to implement more intentionally at St. Cloud, that will allow us to explore, accurate history of the Black African American experience, also looking at Hispanic heritage and the Holocaust. And so, so we're excited about having an outside speaker at the next meeting in October to address that curriculum. And Sonia Martin, who's one of the parents that has helped spearhead that, I think is on the call. So Sonia, if there's anything you want to add to that right now, feel free. If not, we're all set. But I just wanted to give you the chance to elaborate if you wanted to. Maybe she's not here, I'm not sure. Okay, she may not be on the call. At any rate, Sonia Martin, she's one of our parents at the school. She brought this opportunity to our attention, and so we're thankful for that, and we're looking forward to hearing that presentation at the October meeting.
David, sorry, I missed, what is the curriculum and who is coming?
Sure, the curriculum is the Amistad curriculum, which explores the history of the African American experience, as well as looking at the Holocaust experience and Hispanic heritage as well. It allows us to really dig deep within those areas through the K through 5 curriculum. And we're having Miss LaShore Owens, who is working closely with the New Jersey Amistad Commission on a model that is being used throughout the state. And so she's been working to implement that model at various throughout various school districts in the state, most recently through the Pleasantville district here in New Jersey. So Sonia had a connection, and we were able to bring her to speak with our parents at the next Diversity Council meeting.
Thank you.
And potentially PTA meeting in the future too. That's something we're also working on.
Mr. Jones, thank you for spearheading this. Thank you for taking this up, and we're in really good hands with you leading this, and we're excited about it.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure, and I appreciate everybody being so supportive and invested in this important endeavor.
Thank you, David.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just like to know if anybody wants to learn more, I put David's PTA email address in the chat, so feel free to email diversity@stcloudpta.org.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Next, we have our 5th grade committee.
Hi, it's Natalie, and I'm here. I think they saw Amy as well. She's online.
Yes.
Hi.
And hi, is Melissa on?
No, Melissa couldn't make it tonight.
Okay.
So it's just the two of us.
Great.
Go ahead. You run with it.
Okay. So we've been pretty busy with the 5th grade committee. We had our first meeting with the families who had volunteered to join our committee. And Amy had recently sent out an email to all the 5th grade families, just kind of outlining the school year, some of the things that we're working on. And so we currently have our fall plant sale. I'm currently in process. So that's, we've partnered with Pleasantdale Nurseries here in West Orange, and that plant sale is running until October 18th. So we have another week and a half to go. We also, Amy helped us out, organize some yearbook photos for the 5th graders. So we've partnered with one of the 5th grade parents who is a photographer, and we'll be taking photographs outdoors. Sorry, Amy?
Yep, that's going to happen October 23rd, 24th, and 25th at different times. So we were trying to accommodate everybody's crazy schedules, but they'll happen out on Stag Field during those times. And I think it's important to note, like Natalie was just saying, we have, you know, a local vendor for the plant sale. We're doing a local in St. Cloud photographer. We are trying as a 5th grade committee, and I think as a PTA as a whole, trying to use local vendors, knowing to try to help them out during these crazy times as well. So if anyone has vendors that we can use and things like that for not just the 5th grade, but the PTA, please let us know.
Great, thank you. And then also later this month, along with I know we've talked a lot about the trunk or treat. The 5th grade will be hosting a raffle, a 50-50 raffle at the trunk or treat. So look for us there. And we're also currently planning some other fundraisers for the 5th grade. Where we're trying to find or partner with a local vendor for the pie sale for Thanksgiving. So that'll be for next month in November. For the holidays in December, we're planning to possibly do another plant sale to, you know, partner again with Pleasantdale for wreaths or poinsettias, you know, those type of holiday plants. Also some holiday gift wrapping sales. And then in the new year, we have some ideas for possibly a pizza take-home kit, partnering with Patsy's next door to St. Cloud, and also possibly a donut sale with Krispy Kreme.
That one's for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so that's for early next year. So, you know, we have a lot of things in the works, and we're really excited to kick off our endeavors. Amy, do you have anything else to add?
Just for anyone that's on the call that's new and they're asking, why are we doing all this crazy fundraising? The 5th grade has to raise all that money for all the graduation activities, events, field trips, and most importantly, the yearbook. And right now, obviously, we don't know what's going on with field trips for this year, but it's still an expense for the yearbooks. And we're hopefully, you know, in the spring have some sort of graduation events. So.
Great, thanks for adding that.
Does anyone have a question for the 5th grade committee? Okay, well, thank you both. Next, we have Spiritware.
Hi, everyone. So as you guys know, we kicked off the year with the flash sale. So Marlo and I are in the process of contacting all customers. Our plan is to do that by Friday, so we can have deliveries next week for those items. Going forward, we've decided to fill Spiritware orders on a monthly basis. So we'll nail down what that cadence looks like, if it's the first Friday of the month, last Friday of the month, but right now the goal is to fulfill any orders that come through on Member Hub on a monthly cadence. And then lastly, I know we touched on the kindergarten shirts. They have come in, so our goal is to get those distributed within the next 2 weeks. So Marlo and I will organize how we'll get all those out. We'll probably touch base with you, Mr. Price, just to get your alignment on that, but our goal is to get those distributed within the next 2 weeks. And that is all I have.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have communications.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Don't have much to share except that if you're not getting our, sorry, of course, right when I unmute, that's when you get all that. If you are not getting our text messages, go ahead and send me an email. Our email, I put it in the chat, it's communications@stcloudpta.org. If you're, I imagine that most people are getting the emails, but some don't realize that we also send text messages whenever an email goes out. So if you want to subscribe for text messages, that's actually just a slightly separate, like extra little check mark that we have to put in a special box. And of course, you'd have to provide your cell phone number for that. So go ahead and email us and we'll make sure that you're getting all the communications from us. And as always, we tend to update our social media pages pretty frequently. So there's lots of different places, but we understand that there are a lot of people who don't go on Facebook or our other social media outlets who want to stay in touch with us. If you know you come across such a person, tell them they can sign up for text messages too, since that goes directly to your phone. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Jess.
Sorry again.
Don't be sorry. So next we have.
Can I ask one quick question?
Of course.
If we're not getting text messages, should we be getting emails? I know I get some general St. Cloud emails. Should there be something different from the PTA, or is it all included in the general school announcements I should be getting?
Not the school announcements, but so school messenger are separate announcements, but you should be getting messages from the PTA. They're usually like a group of, are you getting any messages from the PTA?
No, and maybe because I just recently signed up for the PTA, maybe that's why.
Okay, so if you don't mind emailing us at communications@St. Cloud PTA, just so that we can look into that for you, because you should be getting emails, and then if you provided your cell phone number, you should also get text messages.
Okay, thank you.
Or when you sign up for Member Hub, you know, there's a way to do it, but we can take care of it for you. Just send us a message.
Thanks again, Jess. So next we have ASP and box tops.
I guess that's me. Hi, everyone. My name is Ernestine John. This would be my first year working the after-school program, Enrichment program. As it looks now, we're not running any programs for the fall, and we have some concerns about starting something for the spring or looking into spring. We won't really know better until we're back in the school. We don't want the same incident when we had last year, where the PTA had to come out of its pocket to reimburse parents who paid on credit card and that sort of thing. So as of right now, there's nothing planned, definitely nothing to plan for the fall, and the spring is on hold. And for the new parents who are not aware, the after-school enrichment program is basically a program where we try and find enrichment classes for the students to do after school. There's a fee for each class. It's a bunch of different classes, some art, some gym, some dancing, all for the kids to both bond and get some more enrichment in their day. It's a great program. All the kids love it. We have golf. We have a bunch of everything. We'll still look to run most of the same programs once we're up and running. If nothing else, maybe if we're not allowed to do anything in the spring, maybe we can do some virtual classes or something for the kids. I'm throwing out that idea. So that's pretty much it as far as the after school program. I don't know if there's any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Ernestine?
Box tops are still being worked. We can still submit box tops. There's some timeline for that?
Box tops. So you want to go to box tops?
Yes.
Okay. So box tops have been at that for like 2 or 3 years, so I'm a little better at that. For the most part, it has changed. At this point, a lot of box tops are clipless.
Oh, I think we lost the connection.
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm not sure where I fell. Most box tops now are clipless, so you can scan the box top app to your phone, and then you load it, I'm sorry, and then you scan your receipt, and the school is credited without anything else. But there's also the clip box tops. Those are submitted twice a year in March and November, so the deadline for the fall submission is coming up. I'm going to speak with Ms. Williams to see if there are any in the school. If anyone has box tops at home that they've collected, I'm willing to come, contact Leslie, pick them up. If you leave them in the mailbox, you can leave them in the book boxes that are in the area. Whatever you need to do to get them to me, however you're comfortable, I'm willing to do a drive-by and pick those up. Ideally speaking, I like to have them sorted and sent out by October 20th is the latest, and box tops really add up. Over the lifetime of St. Cloud participating in the box tops program, we have received $20,110. Not just when I was there, but for all the years that St. Cloud has participated, and that's a great chunk of money. We normally raise about $1,000, $1,200 with the box top, but it's been a little less lately because of the whole not clipping them and the clipless system. And now we're not in the school. A lot of people may not know how to submit them to the school. But again, I'm willing to pick them up. Maybe I can arrange something where you can drop them off at the box in front of the school, and I'll come pick them up. Whatever needs to be done, contact me. I'm open to all sorts of ideas if you have a collection of box tops that you're just burning to submit.
Just so you know, last year we received about $550 from the box tops, which I know is down from the 1,000, but it's an easy way to generate money.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernestine. And next we have membership. Thelma is in charge of membership, but she couldn't be here tonight. So I believe David is going to handle that section for her. David, are you here?
Yes, I am. Yeah, let me just pull up her communication to me that gives you that information. So in regard to membership, so membership, just so folks know, membership is really important for the success and the sustainability of the PTA, because we definitely depend on the support of our parents in the school to pay their membership dues, so that one, you can be actively involved in the PTA in that capacity, but also it helps fund a lot of the things that we do throughout the year. So currently we have 142 memberships. 123 are memberships from parents, and 13 are memberships from teachers and staff, and 6 are community members. So if you haven't submitted your membership for this school year, please send that information in to Thelma, and that way we can have you as part of our PTA membership. And like I said, we certainly depend on folks to complete this. It's a pretty nominal fee to be a member, and it helps support a lot of what we do for our children.
Are there any questions for David about membership? If there are any teachers who are tuning into this, if you go to become a member, you now have your own section as well where you can apply. So it's not, you wouldn't apply as an individual. We have a teacher staff button.
The MAD Assembly is being sponsored by that membership money. So please help us there.
And I think, traditionally in the past, I served as membership chair last year, and it was obviously more accessible to connect with parents at different events in person, and so it's a little bit harder in this virtual space to ensure that parents are aware of these opportunities. So please help spread the word, share with any friends of parents that might be at the school but not on the call tonight, because we want to make sure that we get the word out.
Comment. My daughter's Michaela, she's in 1st grade. Is it possible we could do something fun to get parents to sign up for membership? Like the class that has the most parents sign up, get a shout out on the St. Cloud page, like sort of get the kids involved, like mommy, make sure you sign up, just to help with the membership dues, and maybe make it something like include the kids, make it fun. So whichever class gets the top, I don't know, most parents to sign up for memberships gets a shout out or their class picture taken or something on our St. Cloud page.
That's a great idea.
That is a really good idea. And I think it's just to chime in, that it's important for people to realize this year that even though we're virtual, it's still important for membership. Because like David said, we count on that.
Thanks for that suggestion. We'll bring it back to Thelma and see what we can do to do something, either do that or do something comparable.
Does anyone have any more questions for David or any ideas? Okay, thank you very much, David. Mr. Price, did you want to say anything before we close out, or have any questions? Or
a big thank you to all of you, to all, the executive board, to all the parents, to all the members, for all the work you're doing. It's an incredible organization we have, and just hats off to everything you're doing, and from all the teachers, from all the staff. A big thank you.
thank you everyone for joining us. Please reach out to us. I see that Melanie has been keeping everyone updated in the chat column with our contact information and some notes there. So thank you, Melanie. With that said, our next general PTA meeting will be in November, and I believe that is November 18th. So please join us for the next one. And does anyone have any more questions, or would anyone like to say anything before we sign off?
Join us with your Panera sandwiches. It's
Yes.
a sandwich party.
I love Chipotle.
You have to plug in all the time.
Always. And we are never, please don't hesitate if you have an idea or a suggestion. We are extremely open to everything. We'd love to hear from you. This is a community and we want to interact together and make the school experience as best as we can for our children, you know, now in these virtual times, and of course, when we're back together in person.
Yeah, and definitely leverage the Facebook pages that we have for the different grades too. It's a great way to connect with folks and ask questions. There's no bad question, or, you know, everything is you know, fair game. So we want to support each other, especially now during these challenging times.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you at the next meeting. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
And